Hello, Los Angeles Dodgers fans. We've got fresh, exclusive videos and the latest updates just for you. Before we dive in, make sure to join our channel and hit that like button. This is the best way to stay on top of all the breaking news. Roki Sasaki has officially stepped into the spotlight in a way that only the most daring young pitchers dream of, by asking for a challenge. That's right, folks. The 23-year-old Japanese phenom didn't wait to be told what to do. He initiated the conversation to start on 5 days rest. Think about that. In a league where every pitch counts, and especially for someone used to the 6-day rhythm of Nippon professional baseball, Sasaki made it clear he's ready to level up. This isn't just a small scheduling tweak. This is a statement, a declaration, a message to the Dodgers, to MLB, and to every batter he'll face. Roki isn't here to be protected. He's here to dominate. And with a 10-game road trip weighing heavy on the Dodgers' arms, his timing couldn't be more perfect. You want to talk about leadership? About guts? Sasaki's got both, and now he's got the ball. Let's take a moment to appreciate the situation the Dodgers are in. 10 straight games. No off day. No breathing room. That's a brutal stretch for any team, especially when you're crisscrossing the country and closing it out with a 4-game series against the Arizona Diamondbacks, one of the sneakiest threats in the National League. But here's where it gets interesting. Despite the obvious physical toll, this Dodgers rotation has been clutch. Every single starter has gone at least 5 innings, keeping the bullpen from burning out. Landon Knack and Matt Sauer? Absolute warriors. They pitched a complete 9 innings in a 10-1 blowout over the Marlins. Ben Kasparius stepped into a bullpen game and ate up 4 crucial innings. The staff is hanging tough. But even with all of that, they knew something had to give. Which brings us back to Roki Sasaki, ready and willing to be that spark, that stabilizer, that X factor. And Sasaki stepping up doesn't just help the team. It sends a message about who he wants to be in the big leagues. The Dodgers didn't force this adjustment on him. According to manager Dave Roberts, Sasaki was the one who approached them. Let that sink in. He wanted this test. Roberts even emphasized how rare that is, especially for someone so young, someone still adjusting to the tempo of Major League Baseball. It's going to be different, Roberts admitted, but I know he's excited about it. And here's the kicker. This isn't just excitement for a new challenge. This is strategic. This is Sasaki trying to align himself with the demands of the MLB season. Shorter rest, tighter schedules, fewer breaks. If he can make this jump successfully, it could redefine how quickly he evolves from promising prospect to frontline ace. And with the postseason always looming for a team like the Dodgers, that kind of leap could make all the difference. Now let's talk about the workload Sasaki is stepping into. His last start, a grueling 98-pitch outing against the Atlanta Braves, his most demanding performance yet in a Dodgers uniform. That kind of workload might raise eyebrows for any rookie, especially one navigating unfamiliar rest patterns. But Sasaki has begun to turn a corner. In his last 4 starts, he's gone at least 5 innings each time. That's consistency. That's progress. And now he's doing it under an even brighter spotlight, with the Dodgers bullpen in decent shape and a high-leverage series on the line. But make no mistake, he's going to be on a short leash. The Dodgers aren't going to risk burning him out early in the season. Every pitch will be watched. Every inning will be measured. But one thing is clear. The trust is there. The opportunity is there. And Sasaki's ready to grab it. There's something poetic about the evolution of Sasaki's game. Back in Japan, he was the golden arm with the 100-plus mph fastball that broke radar guns and sent scouts into a frenzy. That heater, man, it was the ticket. But something shifted. The velocity just isn't quite what it used to be. Even before he crossed the Pacific, his average fastball speed had started to dip. And now, in MLB, that trend has continued. So what does a future ace do when his fastball isn't blowing people away anymore? He adapts. Sasaki's aware of the drop. He's not in denial. But he also knows the fastball isn't the only weapon in his arsenal. He's focusing on being a complete pitcher. He wants to improve, but not at the expense of his command or his secondary pitches. That's maturity. That's development. And that's the kind of thinking that turns hype into longevity. But let's not forget why everyone was so obsessed with Sasaki in the first place. His raw talent is off the charts. This is a guy who once threw a perfect game in the NPB with 19 strikeouts. 19, that's video game numbers. That's the kind of dominance that made MLB teams circle his name long before he officially posted. And even if the fastball doesn't sit at 101 anymore, the foundation is still elite. His splitter is nasty. His command is advanced. His poise is ridiculous for someone his age. And now, with the Dodgers guiding his development and letting him take ownership of his path, we might be witnessing something truly special. Because make no mistake, Sasaki isn't just a work in progress. He's a weapon. And if this 5-day experiment works, he's about to become even more dangerous. The Dodgers know what they're doing with young pitching. Just look at the track record. They've built aces, resurrected careers, and managed workloads with surgical precision. And with Sasaki, they're threading the needle again, balancing the need for durability with the long-term vision of making him a postseason horse. This isn't about one start. This is about setting the tone for the rest of his rookie campaign. If he handles the 5-day rest schedule well, you can bet the Dodgers will start giving him a more regular spot in the rotation rhythm. And if he struggles, that's okay too. It's a test, not a sentence. But what matters is that he wanted it. That alone shows he's not just here to learn. He's here to lead. And for a team with championship ambitions, that mindset is everything. And let's give some credit to Dave Roberts and the coaching staff for trusting Sasaki enough to let him call his shot. Not every manager would go along with a rookie's request to mess with routine, especially not during a 10-game road stretch. But Roberts sees something in Sasaki, something more than just raw stuff. He sees the mentality, the fire, the willingness to push boundaries. That's the culture the Dodgers have built. Players who want responsibility and coaches who let them earn it. And that culture is why this team stays in contention year after year. With Sasaki stepping up, this isn't just about filling innings. It's about building the kind of rotation that can shut down anyone come October. A rotation that doesn't just survive road trips like this, but uses them as fuel. But before we move forward, don't forget to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest news about the Los Angeles Dodgers. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the news, so drop a comment below. Los Angeles Dodgers star Mookie Betts has recently opened up about a personal struggle that flew under the radar during the early part of the season. At first, fans just saw a brief absence and assumed it was a minor setback, maybe a precaution or routine rest. But in a revealing conversation with the Los Angeles Times, Betts shed light on something far more challenging, a nasty stomach virus that knocked him off his game physically in ways he's still battling to overcome. What seemed like a short-term illness turned out to have long-term effects, especially in a sport where every ounce of power, balance, and timing matters. And while Betts has returned to the field and continues to put up solid numbers, the toll of what he's gone through is starting to emerge, not just in his performance, but in his mindset and approach to the game. Mookie didn't mince words when speaking about the illness. According to him, it wasn't just about missing a few games or shaking off a fever. The real issue came after the virus passed, when he stepped back into the batter's box nearly 20 pounds lighter than usual. I didn't realize how coming back so much underweight would affect me even now, Betts confessed. That physical change disrupted everything, his mechanics, his strength, and perhaps most importantly, his habits. In his own words, he created some really bad habits, trying to keep up a major league level while his body was still catching up. That's a striking admission from a player of his caliber. We're talking about a guy who's built his reputation on precision and explosiveness, two things that don't come easy when your body isn't cooperating. What's fascinating is that on the surface, Betts doesn't appear to be struggling. He's still been a key part of the Dodgers' potent lineup, posting a more than respectable 121 OPS+. That means he's still performing well above league average. But for Mookie, a perennial all-star and MVP, and arguably one of the 10 best players in all of baseball, being above average isn't the bar. It's the baseline. Anything less than elite raises eyebrows, especially in a city like Los Angeles where expectations are sky high and every at-bat gets dissected. Fans know what Mookie at full strength looks like, dazzling in the field, dangerous at the plate, and dominant on the base paths. So even slight dips in performance become noticeable, and when you learn the reason behind it, the picture becomes a lot clearer. When athletes talk about recovery, it's often framed in terms of visible injuries, a torn ligament, a fractured bone, maybe even a concussion. But what Betts is describing is something more subtle, yet equally impactful. Playing underweight isn't just a matter of lost muscle. It throws off timing, lowers stamina, and can completely change a player's rhythm. It affects nutrition, energy levels, and focus. It's like trying to play a video game on hard mode every single day. And the danger is that a temporary condition like this can lead to permanent bad habits, which Betts himself admitted. Trying to maintain elite performance while your body is in deficit mode, that's a mental and physical grind. And for a high IQ player like Betts, who prides himself on his discipline, that's got to be frustrating on a whole other level. Still, even with all that, Mookie's not falling apart. He's grinding. He's adapting. And that's what makes him great. Yes, his batting average is slightly down. Yes, the power numbers aren't exactly lighting up the league like we're used to. But the key here is perspective. We're 34 games into the season. That's just over 20% of the schedule. It's a small sample size in the grand scheme of a 162-game marathon. There's plenty of time for Betts to rebound, retool, and return to the form fans expect. The fact that he's already producing at a high level while recovering from a significant physical setback should be encouraging, not concerning. If this is his struggling, imagine what his comeback will look like once he's back at full strength. Of course, this situation hasn't occurred in a vacuum. The Dodgers as a whole have been dealing with a slew of early season challenges. Injuries have riddled the roster. Key pitchers have gone down. Lineup changes have been frequent. And now we learn that one of their superstars has been playing at less than 100%. It puts their 25-12 record, currently the best in the National League West, into even greater perspective. Despite all these setbacks, LA is still finding ways to win. That speaks volumes not just about the team's talent, but about its depth, resilience, and the culture that's been built in that clubhouse. And Betts, even under these conditions, is still leading by example, showing grit, honesty, and a willingness to speak candidly about the personal toll of this game. It's also worth noting just how rare and refreshing it is for a player to open up like this. In an era where athletes are often guarded with the media, afraid of how honesty might be twisted or used against them, Betts' transparency is powerful. He didn't need to say anything. He could have chalked it up to a slow start or feeling out the season. But instead, he chose to share something real, something human. And that makes fans respect him even more. Because behind the stats, the highlight reels, and the trophies is a guy who takes his craft seriously, who wants to be great, and who isn't afraid to admit when things aren't perfect. That kind of vulnerability is rare in sports, and it should be applauded. Moving forward, all eyes will be on how Betts adjusts. Will he regain those lost pounds? Will he shift his habits back into alignment? Will we see that signature Betts hot streak that we've come to expect around mid-season? Odds are yes. The track record is too strong, the work ethic too relentless. But what makes this moment so compelling is that it shows the margin for error, even for superstars, is razor thin. One illness, one stretch of missed time, one physical imbalance, and everything can get thrown off. And yet, Betts isn't panicking. He's acknowledging the issue, facing it head-on, and still delivering at a level most players would dream of. That's not just professionalism. That's leadership. As the season progresses, the Dodgers will no doubt continue to lean on Betts, both for his on-field skills and his clubhouse presence. And if his body catches up to his talent, watch out, because a fully healthy Mookie Betts, with something to prove and a chip on his shoulder, is one of the most dangerous players in baseball. This early setback might just be the spark that fuels one of his best seasons yet. We've seen it before. Betts goes quiet, then catches fire, and suddenly he's racking up homers, diving catches, and clutch hits like it's clockwork. If that happens again this year, and don't be surprised if it does, this stomach virus may end up being just a footnote in a much larger, triumphant story. That's all for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay up to date with exclusive news about the Los Angeles Dodgers, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We always appreciate your comments and feedback. See you in the next video.